Hello everybody and welcome back to the Crypto Potluck. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. In this video I just wanted to give you guys a quick market update on what all I have built out so far, show you what I have been doing, and this is a very tedious process, but we are definitely getting a lot done and I think you guys are going to be impressed. But I also want to talk about the market. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on, so I think we're going to spend the last part of this section of this live stream really just diving into some technical analysis, really looking at some of the market conditions and what all is going on. So if you guys want, in our Discord, you can jump on there. I'm going to have this up so that we're going to be on the live stream. So if anybody wants to ask questions for this video, you guys can ask questions in here. I'll answer them, especially for the technical analysis and all that. But before we get into that, let's talk about what I have been building out. What do I have established? Where am I at so far? So as of now, I've been really just working on the information stuff, making sure that I can get you guys the resources to continue to learn. Right here is going to be one of the first introduction pages for people that just enter in the site, and really just introducing where to start, how to start, and where to gather good information, good resources, and all of that. So for example, all of these that they all have like their own ways of telling you and helping you, and they have their own links and everything else to make sure that you have the information needed to own this market. But we'll dive into one of the resources in a second that I think you guys are going to find really useful. So let's dive first into another thing that I got completed, which is going to be tested affiliates. So we have a lot of useful information here, and then we're also going to have either the promos that we have associated with them, and then we'll have videos so that you guys can actually get videos on each one of these for any applications that I do actually make videos on, and that I've actually dove into in the past. So this is going to be a really good resource, but as far as the cool tech stuff, let's go into this actual application real quick. So for why I'm building this out, I really wanted to focus on helping other content creators have the tools to manage their own communities, and not really have to be, I guess, in the hands of Google, Facebook, or all these huge companies. So for this in particular, I'm going to take you guys to what I have built out, which is going to be the back end. So there is a back end now to the whole application for content creators that we are going to be integrating. So content creators, when managing your communities, you'll have the ability to basically look at all of the posts, you'll be able to organize it, and then you can actually use this information to steer the discussion within your own communities so that you can get the most value out of it. We really want to help, I guess, provide more outlets to gather useful information, because there is an epidemic with what is real and what is fake online. So we have profiles, everything else, and I think that this is going to be a good stepping stone to continue to add, new, I guess, apps onto the platform that can record more in-depth information, or really help aid content creators in general, or help people really understand what they're doing within the market, just trying to help the learning curve in general. So I think that this is a really cool new feature, and I just wanted to show it off to you guys. But let's go back to the actual website, and then I think we're going to go up to newcomer information one more time. We'll go into resources, we'll go down here, and then I'll take you to our resource page. So this is going to be our Potluck resource page. As you can see, we have a lot of useful information here also, but basically we want to find other talented people and help promote them, in any way that we can. In general, there's a bunch of really good communities out there, small ones that don't get the recognition that they deserve. So what we have here is we're going to have information on YouTube channels, communities, we're going to have apps and resources, all of that. So as of right now, right here, you can see YouTube and communities. We have well-rounded ones. You got Data Dash on here. You got Crypto Lark. We got Doug Polk. He's just funny, but no, I think he has good insight in general. We got Crypto Bud. These are the people I genuinely like watching and I respect. We got Tone Bays, Node Investor, and I'm looking to add more people. I can only surf the internet so much. So if you guys find quality people, I want to introduce a voting mechanic so that we can actually add them within the community, and so that we can actually see which ones are the most helpful. To actually help make sure that you're learning, help make sure that you're getting valuable information. So I think that this is a really good starting point for people that are just getting interested in cryptocurrency in general, and they just don't know where to start. So I really want to make sure that we have information to help those people in particular. So outside of that, we do have technology. We're probably going to revamp this, but as of right now, we're just going to have, for example, trading bots. We're going to have mainly free apps. So basically, if it's a free app, that is very useful, and you're just starting to get into cryptocurrency, and you're just trying to, get information on the cheap. We have a bunch of really cool ways, and I guess there's a bunch of really cool websites out there that do provide a lot of useful information just for free. So that's going to be awesome. And then we have paid script indicators that we're going to continue to add on. But in general, the goal is to build a dynamic portfolio, basically trade within markets. Use the different swings, the different rhythms within the market conditions, and then reference it to other markets and just try to pick your best option. So we try to automate that. We try to create strategies. We try to create code so that we can manage our portfolios more effectively. And that's what we are generally working on. So in all, I'm going to have all this explained. I have a huge in-depth white paper I'm going to make into its own video. I'm not completely finished on it yet, but as you can see, this is really in-depth. I have a lot of really good information, and I think you guys are going to be impressed with the whole process. With that, I guess we're going to jump into the Potluck ecosystem, and we're going to actually do some technical analysis. We're going to see where the market's at, and we're going to see if we can extract any value at all. So as of now, let's just look at the big player. Bitcoin controls all, and everybody's watching it. In general, I do think that we can still squeeze off a little bit more gains, just because of how other markets are positioning. But in general, you have to start at the 1 day, right? And we have these long extending wedges that a lot of people have called. Right now, it looks like we're playing with the Ichimoku clouds very, very closely. But there's two things I really want to signify for you guys, which is very positive. So we are having the twist on the Ichimoku cloud, which is a good sign. And we are just continuing to hit, the top of the Ichimoku cloud. So this would be a really good determinant on when to sell. Is if you touch the Ichimoku cloud, it's time to sell, and then just wait a little bit before getting back into the market. But that could be, it has proven like a really good technique for these past highs in general. But what am I looking at? I would like, I think that now that we've touched the Ichimoku cloud, if we can consolidate back to the line, as I have right here, that would be awesome. And then if we can get that other bounce, that would be awesome too. I think that if we have one more, I guess red candle, and then you have the extremes where the wick goes down and touches this, but then bounces back up, you can easily get this outcome, which would be a really good trade. But in general, there's a lot of pressure on this wedge. So this is what I would be watching very, very closely. And as soon as we do enter in this little pocket, this is where I would be pulling the trigger to sell. And I would be waiting out to see if either we break the wedge in general, or if we start collapsing, because I do expect that there is a huge collapse imminent if we aren't able to break through this. And right now, it just doesn't look like there's a lot of support for that case. So I'm trying to squeeze out as much gains as I can out of this. But in general, the thing I'm worried about, and I want to bring to you guys' attention, is this lower part of the cloud. And I would be looking in here, because if we go up here, we can get rejected and just fall, very fast. And then it would just prove that this was the main wedge to be looking at. So far, we've been holding up. This is the angle as just having some security. So I don't know. It just depends. But I think that what I'm going to do, like I said, as soon as we touch the top of the Ichimoku cloud, I'm going to make my sell, and I'm going to wait a little bit. You can only control what you can control. So with that, let's dive into another important one, which I always like to dive into, which is going to be the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and then we can see how things are going. So I think that we are of course, I called the consolidation in my last live stream literally at the highs, and we've had the consolidation that has led continuously to this point. I think that we are still going to consolidate. What am I looking for, though? I would be looking for one of these, purple candles, that would be an awesome sign. So if right now we got the fall and then we can touch this white line, and if we can get this candle basically right here, and if you're able to touch just the bottom of this and you can buy in, I think that would be a really good opportunity. And I think it's kind of funny how this is all positioning. I don't know how much the hearings and everything have to do. I know it has nothing to do with finance in general, but it's funny that the markets, I don't know, everything's kind of political, but I think that it's a 7-day as far as how long this is going to last, and that's the exact time that these hearings and the investigation and everything else is going to be issued, is going to be a 7-day period. So I just find this interesting, the timing, as far as all that's concerned, and it gives me, I guess, the ability to just say, all right, I think that this is a good outcome to at least bet on. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, is if we can touch this, and if we can get one of these red candles right here, and if we can get that fake sell-off, and then, you know, we're basically back into this really nice channel. In general, though, this is an extremely steep channel, so do not recommend having all your assets in the stock market, but definitely historically the stock market is something that you should have something in, and there's so many large names that it's just a safer investment. So let's jump into some actual altcoins. We'll see. I guess there's one in general that I really want to highlight out for you guys, and I just been talking about it for some time, but BNB is looking very, very interesting. We have a situation where we're just in limbo right now, and it looks like in general we're playing within these white wedges. So I think that we're just going to continue to just consolidate until we get up to this point. But the only thing that worries me is that there's a huge, there's like a huge, I guess, gap here. And if we can't get the breakout within the next week, this is going to be a coin I would probably just hold off on. If this continues on for the week and we don't get that push in Bitcoin, this is going to be one that you just you stop loss out at the yellow line, which is why I have that. So the pop is worth it though, if you are able to set a good stop loss, and if you can protect yourself, because risk reward potential, even though it might not happen, this which being a 25% return, and what I would be expecting is for, if we did pop out of this wedge, for us to hit the top of this and then basically consolidate and use this Ichimoku cloud as leverage to kind of try and push up a little bit farther. That would be the best case scenario. So for that being a 25% return, as far as opportunity, you're dealing with a solid, 2% loss, 3% loss on risk. I'll take that in a day. In general, I would set my DCA up, I guess, at the bottom right here, where we can see that there's definitely a support level. This is Binance that we're talking about, the largest cryptocurrency exchange. I think that there's value in it, and I think that this is a coin that's a relatively safe investment in this industry. So with that, let's dive into a few more other altcoins, because there's a few interesting ones. I'll actually bring this up because I think that this is actually kind of cool. So as you can see here, I've gone through a lot of the work of trying to figure out these projects, look into their communities and their size and everything else. And there's a lot of useful information that you can gather from this. I think one of the interesting ones I'm going to be looking at is going to be Lisk, and we'll bring up, I think Lisk is going to be the one that I was looking at. So let's go back over here and we'll see what Lisk is doing. That's not the one. This is the one. So, Lisk is, the thing that I like about Lisk and why I brought up the social media stats that I just showed right here, is that Lisk has a large active community relating to YouTube and Twitter, which I found very, very interesting. There's not many altcoin projects which have actually looked at YouTube in general and actually approached it, and Lisk is one of the platforms that has, and they actually have a nice audience. There's other really good ones out there. Another one which has a really nice size is Dash. I think that's why we saw a nice bump in Dash. But Lisk is a nice second place as far as you can see the numbers clearly here and where their stats lie. So I think that Lisk is going to be one that I'm going to be looking at, and I think that we are clearly within, I guess this wedge, and historically, if you go back, this is what, like, these are the price actions, like, yearly that we've seen. So this hits, I guess this bottom, and it just rockets off. And for this reason, if we do break the wedge within Bitcoin, this is definitely going to be a coin that is going to benefit, in my opinion, and I think it's worth the risk. And I think it's interesting that we do have this gap here as far as the Ichimoku clouds. It does look like there is more downside from what it is, saying in the future, but this still provides a large amount of room for us to have a pop. In general. So I would like to see us at least pop up to the Ichimoku cloud, and that would be gold. But in general, if you want to play it safe, you can cash out at the green line, and let's just look at where these would lie in retrospect. That's a 12% return, and then for the other one, we're looking at 22%. So that any day, that's really good, and I think that this is just one that's ready for something to happen, and I'm very curious to see what happens. So let's talk about, see if there's any other ones. We'll dive into Substratum a little bit, see if there's anything about Substratum. Nothing. I'm holding off on Substratum at this point. VG. I want to look at Verge. Verge is an interesting one, and this is what I'm going to be looking at. This is why I wanted to bring it up to you guys' attention, because whenever we talked about social media stats, Verge had, even though it only has 5,000 or 6,000 people on YouTube, that's a very large compared to a lot of the altcoins. So for this reason, I'm looking at this, and I'm just seeing that we already had one pop into the Ichimoku cloud, but we got rejected. But we are holding this angle, and it looks like we're trying to push up to a point where we could break over. And I think that it might happen. And the thing that's kind of saying that is right here with the Ichimoku cloud, we can see that we do have green over red, which is a positive sign. So if we can build up the momentum with this angle in general, this would be the pop to expect for us to break above. Then we might see consolidation after that point. So I would be looking to try to make a sell if we do break, maybe at the red line. The red Ichimoku line would be probably a good sell opportunity if you hit that exactly. And then we could either get rejected from that point, but even if we do pop up, I feel like there's a good chance that we would consolidate. So I think that the best indicator to determine a sell would be the red top of the Ichimoku cloud. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to see if we can build up to this point, and if we can get that momentum to at least take us back to these old highs. And I think that that's a very likely scenario. Outside of that, let's see if we have anything within the live stream. It doesn't look like we have many questions today. But with that, I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown on the market. If you guys are looking to support the channel, we do have our private Patreon group, which you guys can join. I have educational material as far as Udemy courses down below, and we are going to be launching something really, really cool as far as what I am working up with the crypto potluck, and with all of this innovation that I've been doing behind the scenes. And I'm really excited to keep you guys up to date on all of that. So with that, at the end of the day, you guys are your own investors. I hope you guys have a wonderful day trading the market. And at the end of the day, have a wonderful day trading the market.